Welcome to the post-show show, provided for the exclusive use of our 24/7 Backstage Pass subscriber audience here at MikeChurch.com. It is a Wednesday. Today is 19 November, 2008. Good to have you with us. Covered a lot of, as always, we always covered a lot of ground. But, hey, we got new terminology here today. We have Gays Rebellion going on out in California over Prop 8. And we have the POP, the Pile O Prep. To the post-show show phones we go. Let's see here. Brian's in Los Angeles. All right, Brian, you're on the post-show show at MikeChurch.com. How are you?
Hey, Mike, how are you, buddy?
I'm fine, sir.
Good. I think you're going to have a problem with me.
Why? Why am I going to have a problem with you, Brian?
I'm a McCain Republican living in Los Angeles who thinks that you are a unique and rare talent, and it troubles me that somebody as smart as you can say something so idiotic about global warming and climate change.
Such as?
Well, you can quote the tables all you want. You can quote the Farmer's Almanac, but the one thing that you cannot dispute is you can say that the polar ice caps are actually growing in mass. Nothing goes straight down. There will be climate change that will lead to disparities. And what you have this summer is one of those climate changes. The weather that we're having now cannot be disputed. When you lose a 17-mile chunk of a glacier, something that's never happened before.
Wait. Never. Define never.
Never as defined since we've been keeping official records.
Oh, so history began when we started keeping records.
In 79?
Yeah, 1979, we started keeping records. That's when history began?
Hey, Mike, in all fairness...
No, you're not being fair. You weren't around 3,000 years ago, 40,000 years ago. You don't know that stupid glacier didn't fall off into the sea once before, do you?
You can filibuster if you want, but let me just say this. You have to admit at some point that you have to look at empirical data.
No,
wait, Mike,
I'm not admitting. I'm not going to admit anything.
Listen to the point. You can keep saying no all you want and not listen to the point.
Go ahead. Let me see if I'm going to admit to it. Go ahead.
The point is, at some point you have to say, we can look at empirical data. We have to measure things first, and then we can evaluate them. So since we've been keeping records, this has never happened. So you have to give that some semblance of credibility. Otherwise, you're doing what you're saying and just say, well, since we've never measured it that far, then it couldn't have happened. That's idiotic.
It's not idiotic.
Of course it is.
No, it's not. No, it's okay. So you know unequivocally then that that glacier or whatever retreating glacier you want to state, that glacier has always been there. It's always been there, right, Brian?
Okay. Here's what I do know. Here's what I will stipulate. I will stipulate that as far as we can define, as far as we know, it has always been there. You have no data to prove otherwise. All the data proves that we are losing glacial mass.
Brian, why do you hate your humankind, your fellow man? Why do you hate us so?
Actually, here's all I want.
No, that's not all you want. Let me.
No, you haven't heard what I want yet. You haven't heard my demand.
What's your demand?
You haven't heard my demand.
What's the demand?
My demands are, I want government out of this.
All right.
But I want the automakers to be responsible. I want the flat screen TV makers to be responsible. I want our industry to be responsible without regulation, that they have to recognize that global warming, climate change is real. Maybe it's not the Chicken Little sky is falling, but you have to admit that it is real.
Well, Brian, I will admit, you got me. Yes, climate change is real. It has been happening for about 2.5 billion years. You're right. Son, we go cold, we go hot. You're right. Climate change is a reality. Now, I seem to recall that we probably were not around 600,000 years ago when the ice ages came every 100,000 years, and we weren't around 75,000 or 150,000 years ago when the ice ages were coming at 60,000 year intervals, which they're still doing. What do you propose to do about that?
First of all, how do you know that global warming has been happening for 2.5 million years?
I absolutely know that it has, because the sea levels have been rising and abating. That's how I know. Sediment levels. You're in California. You can go see it.
How can you say they've been rising for 2.5 million years? You don't know what was happening 2 million.
Brian, now you're being like a little sissy that got his feelings hurt. You can go to the California coast and you can see the sea level indentations. You can see where the sea rose and then receded, rose again and then receded. Go find a geologist, Brian. Every geologist alive will tell you that we go into ice ages and then we have interglacials. When the interglacial happens, sir, the ice melts and the sea level rises. I'm not denying that. We've already been through the sea level rise, though. We're at the height of it right now.
Okay, fair enough. So let me ask you this.
Right.
Is it absurd?
Yes.
Is it irrational?
Yes.
To ask that our industries, plural, be cognizant of the scenarios that we're in? Because I'll tell you this. Would you deny that we're losing rainforest? Would you deny that something like a Katrina happens because of...
Do you own a television, sir?
No. Of course I do.
Well, then, where is this rainforest that is being lost? How come Bear Grylls can get parachuted in the middle of nowhere and has to get helicoptered out in a rainforest?
That's an asinine statement, Mike. I love you, buddy, but that's...
Why is that an asinine statement? Wait, so you're basing everything on the proposition or on the paradigm that everything as it was, and let's just say 1980, was as it should be. And that if anything happens to change it, why, it's man screwed it up and we should all get out of the way, right?
No, absolutely not.
Well, then you're not making any sense.
See, I disagree with you. I think I'm making perfect sense. And let me say that
God have mercy.
If you look at a map 10 years ago.
Let's look at one from 100 million years ago.
I don't have
Why? I don't see a rainforest there. Ooh, look, the rainforest just appeared.
Well, wait a minute, but we didn't have industry taking out rainforests a million years ago the way that we do now. Did we?
Brian, you're a Malthusian. You're dangerous. Please don't multiply, sir. Please. Do not procreate and spread your demon idiot seed to anyone else, because the survival of the species and the race may depend on it. But I appreciate the effort. You were a lot of fun.
I like the unprecedented nature of a glacier losing 17 miles worth of ice when glaciers receded from the Ohio River.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's a great point, Reverend. Brian wouldn't care to hear that the last three ice ages in order: Wisconsin, Iowa, and Ohio. The reason they're named Wisconsin, Iowa, and Ohio, Brian, is because that's how far down the glaciers were. Look it up. Now, it would seem to me that those glaciers receded a little bit more than 17,000 miles, but I wish you would have been around to outlaw skunk or bear or whatever farts and ask them to be responsible with their poo and their gas. Because if those animals would have been responsible with their flatulence, why, those glaciers might still be there today. These people are nuts, folks. They're nuts.
And let's just, for the record, remember, that is a McCain Republican.
A McCain Republican, and that's why he lost. Dawn, how are you?